I feel, you know, not to make it about girls, because like you said, like I've been competing against men since I made my professional debut or whatever in comedy. I did Last Comic Standing. That was all guys. Comedy Store is mostly guys.
Mostly guys.
So of course, if I audition for something, it's me versus another girl. But when I go on tour and I look at if I'm playing clubs, it's men on those rosters, and there's no. This isn't saying bad things about other girls, and I hope they have great careers. But for me, it's always been me pitted against men, and then people for sensationalism be like, "What about the other girls?" And I've just never looked at that as the competition, because it's me versus another guy to see who gets a 9:45 spot at the Comedy Store, you know, and the whole women have been doing so many funny things especially in the last couple of years when comedy's been really hot. People don't say women aren't funny anymore, and if they do, I'm like, oh, there's something wrong with you. Oh, you're stupid. Versus when I first started my career, I had to be like, well, you know, girls are funny. I'm trying to. So now I don't even answer it, right?
It's just all these things that these formulas people had for a long time. I'll never forget, they were shooting Showtime about 10 years ago, maybe 12 years ago, gave away 8 half hours. And they had showcases at the store. And I'll never forget that I'm out there one night. I didn't showcase. They were showcasing a bunch of like up-and-coming comics and shit. And I was there one night, and Messina was there, Rick Messina. Good guy, great guy. I talk to him all the time out there. And some girl was talking to him, and she's like, I'm having a hard time. And he's like, how old are you? And she's like, 30. And he goes, you should just move back to where you came from. And he goes, everybody knows that, a woman's hot from 22 to 21 to 27, and guys after. Now, here I am long in the fucking tooth. I didn't get hit till I was 32. I didn't get on stage till I was 30 or something. And he's like, and guys are dead after 25.
What's he talking about?
And I'm listening to this, and I get in my car, and I go home. And that night, I'm sitting there, and the next week, I saw him up there. I go, can I talk to you for a second? Because he's a cool guy. He's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
And I go, hey, man, the other night I heard you talk to this girl, and you were telling her this and this and this. And I go, the reason you got that baseball field in your back fucking yard is because of the 2 old guys in comedy. Tool Time.
Tim Allen.
He was not fucking 28 when he made it. All right? And the other guy with the glasses, the chubby guy, the host of... Drew Carey. He was another guy that was 40 when he fucking made it. I go, you made millions off these guys. How can you tell it?
Right.
He goes, you know what's crazy? I thought about it when I went home that night. What a mistake I made, too.
Oh, good.
He goes, I didn't know what I was thinking. You made millions of dollars off 2 fucking old guys.
Well, especially comedy... You can be older in comedy. It's actually one of the few things where when you're older, people value your opinion more. Comedy doesn't discriminate. You're either funny or you're not. Whether you get into it later or, regardless.
I'm so fucking embarrassed right now.
Why?
Like, I feel like just being too old and being on stage.
What are you talking
But
about?
then the other day we were watching a Rodney clip, and I'm like, he was fucking old.
I watched most of that special this weekend.
But you have the gravitas... When you get up there and you say something, you mispronounce Kumail's name or something, or you say, because of who you are and where you're from and the generation you have, it's okay. There are things that I was talking to Joe about this when we left because I was laughing. We were in the car in Arizona and we were hungry, and the only thing that was open was Papados. And you were going on, you're like, you trust your Uncle Joey? I'm like, I don't really know you. You're like, you trust your Uncle Joey? Go to Papados. And then you made a joke, and you were like, when you get the gumbo and the sauce with the fingernails and the Katrina oil. And I was dying laughing. If I on stage the other night it said one Katrina reference, and they went ice cold. But you say it, and it's okay. And granted, it's about intention, stuff like that, but it's also about like a life lived. There are things you can say that I can't. And so you shouldn't be embarrassed.
I turned him on to the
I don't
gumbo.
have to give you a pep talk.
I didn't get to try it.
Is it still about Papados and not the moral of my story?
Tell her what you ate, though.
I got a po' boy, but I was too tired.
I'm the only one that's not stoned here, by the way.
Yeah.
Which is why we're talking about Papados now.
But then, I think why it comes across, why people are okay with it, is because it's what you say in real life. He had that entire speech for the server at Papados.
Yeah, it's fine.
He tells everybody.
It's fine.
He loves it.
But it's also, and people are so fucking PC. You're an equal opportunity offender. There's no hate in your heart. You're just saying, and it's just like this East Coast ball breaking. I know guys like that, and it's okay.
Wait a second here. I'm Cuban, but I got a Jewish cup. Okay, so
Jewish cup?
yeah, that means you got a Jewish cranium. So
Oh.
I had a friend that used to go, I'm Italian, but I got a French cup. That's why I know how to make all these cocktails. And he used to kill me. He was like 70, and
Yeah.
he would make anyway. What the fuck are we talking about? Why you gotta throw me off?
I was talking about your character. You started talking about
no.
Papados.
We're talking about
You're Cuban with a Jewish hat.
Cup.
Cup.
He was talking about Papados, and I was saying you have the gravitas to say what you want to say.
I fucking forgot. I gotta stop smoking pot.
Maybe a little. Maybe a little. I was saying it's okay. You were saying you were ashamed to be old on stage. How old are you?
53.
Thank God, because I didn't know. And I was like, what if he says he's 40? And I got to tell him he looks terrible for 40.
Plus, I got a little girl at the house. And she's going to click onto fucking YouTube and hear half these conversations. It's just a lot of things that are eating away at me little by little.
Yeah, but she's gonna hear it whether you stop doing
How old is
comedy or
she?
not.
She's 3.5.
Shoot, you got a minute. She's not going to.
Not in today's world, you know. Not with that fucking computer. Not with that
Oh.
goddamn computer.
I went over the other night to pick up a shirt, and she came over and she said hi, but then she has a tablet thing apparently.
Yeah.
And like I was trying to say goodbye, she's like, no, goodbye. Like she like really seems to like me, but now she's like when she's like no.
Oh, she loves that fucking tablet. So what are you gonna do there? What's happening, Blanche?
Blanche doesn't care. She's going as a lobster.
No, it was real. I forget what I was gonna fucking tell you. It bothers me about the Cuban with the Jewish cup. We were talking about.
We were talking about you.
Intention. We were talking about
ringing
intention.
true because it's stuff you say.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Okay, so Katrina happened.
Right.
All right, so let's pretend you went down to the sea.
To the sea?
Let's pretend you went down there to see what was going on.
Oh, I thought you meant the ocean.
And all of a sudden you're like, wait a second. Wait just one fucking minute here. Look at all this oil. Look at all these animals. I seen that commercial for Dove.
Right.
Where they take the fucking
They wash
bird
the duck.
and they wash the duck and shit. What if I fucking get like a whatever and scoop up all this shit, take it home and wash it and then freeze it. And then once the fucking shrimp thing goes out, I'll sell the shrimp.
What are you talking about?
I'm telling you, this is how you have to think.
This is not the way you should think.
Somebody did this.
This is...
Somebody fucking did this.
There's no Katrina oil in the gumbo.
Listen to me. Somebody, I didn't say that was, listen. Somebody went, scooped up all these animals with oil on them.
What animals?
The birds, shrimp,
And they
crabs.
put them in the gumbo.
Listen to me. And they washed them down really good with like.
With Dawn.
With Dawn, right? Then
Okay.
they washed them down. Even though the animals were dead, you have, like, it's like if I stab you. You have 24 hours to get to the hospital to get stitched up. After 24 hours, you can't get stitched up. There's nothing I can do for you. That's like if you get a cut, you can't stitch it after 24 hours. That was 20 years ago. I don't know about that.
Pretty sure we could...
No, you have to look it up. The 24 hours, you have to stitch up a wound. If not, it's 2. You can't stitch
There's
it.
no stitching.
Nah,
You just an open wound the rest of your life.
Nah, they do butterflies and shit like that, stitching, you know what I'm saying, with fucking bandages and stuff.
Okay.
So the same thing. So the shrimp is dead. He's got oil on him. I wash him off. really nice. I scrub him down.
Yeah.
And then I freeze him.
Yeah.
And I come to you 2 years from now, I got shrimp. At
I
a
got
great
shrimp.
fucking price.
I got shrimp.
I got shrimp at a great
And
rate.
let me ask you this. And
Yeah.
I, as a corporate buyer for that's in charge of food quality for a mega chain restaurant, I buy this shrimp out of the back of your Chevy?
I didn't say that. I said that let's pretend